Me at Randy, like it's like he's making fun of me. I am Amy at Wise Monkey Quilting in Denison, Iowa, and you can find me here almost every Friday morning where I make a quick and easy project that you can make for yourself, and you can purchase from us all the supplies that you need to make what I'm making this morning. If you are new to us, just type register in your comment and then follow the prompts. And then if you see something that you like, you can just type sold space and that number. That puts that item in your cart, and you can find it in Facebook Messenger when you go to checkout. I also have the link up above in the description of how to find your cart and how to shop from our comment sold store. So I hope we have people joining us this morning.
We do. We have Kathy and Debbie, Roxy, Peg, Lois, Sharon and Cheryl, Margot, Lori and Karen, Mary, Jane and Deb, Dixie.
Good morning.
Catherine, Maggie, hello there, Cindy, Barb, and Donna, and Brenda, and Vicky, and Lisa. Lisa, I've got a favor to ask of you. I'll be giving you a call later on probably. So just a warning if Carol hasn't mentioned it to you already. Diane, along with Rhonda, Elma. Steve says good morning one and all from our official and unofficial greeter. Carol, following Steve right up.
You know, there's just sitting on opposite ends of the couch.
Well, or maybe at the kitchen table
Or
with having some coffee.
Maybe.
And Cindy and Marge, Karen, Pam, along with Mary Ann, Cheryl, Susan, and Deborah. She said it was 32 on the deck this morning in South Carolina. So
let's see what it is here. It is 28 degrees outside.
But we are supposed to get close. It's supposed to get in after 50s today.
It's supposed to get 49, my phone says.
49? Okay.
And if my phone says it, that's where we'll be.
Okay. Hi, Susan, and Colette, and Rhonda. I like my forecast better in the upper 50s instead of 49, so we're going with mine.
You listen to Omaha, Nebraska, which is about an hour and a half southwest
So we're
of us.
They're saying in the 60s, so I was putting us in the upper 50s.
Oh, okay.
So Sharon, along with Celia, Lane, good morning, Amy.
Good morning, Amy. I got an invitation yesterday in the mail. I can't wait. I already have plans.
Susan and Sherry, Sharon, Gladys, she's having Johnny cake and tomato juice. I don't know what Johnny cake is.
Is that kind of like a pancake? I don't know.
It might be. I don't know. And good morning, Jelaine.
Good morning. So this morning we are making the Skinny Minnie Quilt As You Go table runner. This one is fun. It is fun. You can make it look however you want. There's no measuring. Once you get going on the sewing, it is quick and easy to do. And you know, if you watched Happy Hour last night, I was not quite done because I kind of had lots of things going on yesterday. So it didn't take me long at all last night to finish it and put binding on it. And what's really nice is once you do that, you're good. You don't have to quilt it. You don't have to do anything else with it. It's already quilted as you go. It ends up being, the size is 10.5 by 31. So it is a nice size little table runner. And you can whip one up in a weekend.
I'm going to just keep going here for a little bit before I turn it over to you totally. Good morning, Marge. Well, let's see. I better back up here. Jelaine, good morning. Julaine and Jaylene.
Right. That was a tongue twister for you.
And Steve, the gentleman that he is, he says, Happy Valentine's Day tomorrow to everyone.
Oh, well, happy Valentine's Day to you too.
Marge, Angie down in Omaha, Virginia, Gladys, cornmeal. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Jill, she says, Happy Friday the 13th. That was something I had not thought of until I was reading her comment.
No one told me today was Friday the 13th.
But it's all good luck day. Rosella, Sherry, Little A's checking in along with Jeannie, Karen, Kathy, she's having some coffee along with Jaylene. Johnny Cake is also known as a cornbread. So
Okay.
yeah.
Oh, I like cornbread.
Hi, Sharon, Julie, Margaret, Jill, Deb, Carol, Georgina. Yeah.
Okay.
If I've missed anybody, I do apologize because sometimes they come in pretty fast, especially when people start ordering. And Mary.
Good morning. Good morning, one and all.
And Sharon.
And we do have products for you this morning. So if you want to make this really cute quilt as you go table runner, it's from GE Designs. And we've got them for you here so you can order the pattern this morning if you like. Now, we will have a couple different fabric bundles that you can make, but you do still have to purchase the pattern anyway, so it's not included in the fabric bundle. So the Skinny Mini table runner is $8 and it's sold 100. So you can just type, if you want this and you're new with us, just type sold space 100, enter in your comment, and then that item will go in your cart. And like I said, it's 10.5 by 31. It is a quilt as you go. And I'm going to show you, in fact, this morning, I'm going to show you how to cut the fabric, prep your backing, and you'll have everything you need to make this once you get this. We do transfer this video. Yes, we are live on Facebook right now. When this is done, we transfer this video onto our YouTube channel so that you can go back and watch it on YouTube anytime you want. And yeah, and well, let's go through our schedule too. So don't forget to watch us Tuesday evenings at 7 o'clock for Treat Yourself Tuesday, where we do a virtual shopping show where we bring you all kinds of fun stuff. So $8 for the Skinny Mini pattern, sold 100. And then, like I said, I have 2 fabric bundles. And our fabric bundle, this one is the Brights. So here are all the fabrics I used in this one. And we are also including the backing fabric. So and the binding fabric. So you have everything you need. You have backing, binding, and the fabric that you need to make a bright table runner exactly like this one. Now, if we do happen to run out of the purple binding, you might get one of the other colors for binding, but any color would work because it's so pretty and bright and fun. Our fabric bundle is $21, and it does include backing, binding, all the fabric you see to make this bright.
Does it include the
batting? It does not.
Okay.
We're going to have that in just a second.
Okay.
This morning, I'm going to be making a neutral table runner. So with the neutral table runner, and these are all batiks. Sorry, I forgot to mention that. These are all batik fabrics.
On both bundles.
On both bundles. So the neutrals is just grays and creams. There's one that's got a little bit of green in it, but a nice neutral palette for whatever you want. And you're also getting backing, and one of these will be your binding. So backing, binding, all the fabric you need to make it for $21, sold 101. Brights or neutrals. So you would have to write that in your comment so we know what colorway you want.
Before we go too far here, I'm going to also say good morning, Mary. Georgina, I think I caught her. I believe Sherry, Sharon, Heather, Pam in West Virginia.
Good morning.
Deborah says actually her oldest was born on Friday the 13th in January many years ago, so it is a good day.
Good. Well, it is a good day.
Along with, and Colleen, hello. Do have a question on shipping already?
Okay, so our shipping is $5 flat rate shipping unless you buy $25 or more. So if you buy a fabric bundle and the pattern, you're already at free shipping. So $25 or more, it's free shipping. And like always, 5% of everything you buy turns into what we call monkey cash, which goes into your account as an account credit you can use on a future purchase.
And let's see here, just to wrap up, how long have you been putting videos on YouTube running into a little issue with the woven basket?
Yeah, that one did not make it to YouTube. We did have and we might bring that woven basket again. We've had a few people ask for that. So that might be one that we're going to redo. We used to just leave them on Facebook, and then all of a sudden Facebook decided to start taking off the videos, and we were not fast enough to get them all on Facebook. So I've probably been putting them on Facebook for the last 5 or 6 months maybe. So if it's older than that, I'm afraid it didn't make it.
Good morning, Roxy, Linda, Nancy, and I apologize if I've missed anybody else.
All right. So that was the fabric bundle. And the pattern is from GE Designs. And GE Designs also created and made the stripology rulers. So this is the Creative Grids Stripology Extra Large Slotted Ruler. I'm going to actually cut the fabric this morning into the strips that I'm using for the table runner by using this slotted stripology ruler. We use this a lot. This is a great way to make 1.5, 2.5 inch strips. If you like cutting your fabric, and I'm going to show you how to use this. Now, do you have to have this to make the table runner? No. You can cut your strips using a ruler and your rotary cutter. You can cut your strips using a 1.5 inch die from AccuQuilt. There's many, many ways you can cut your strips to do this. But since this is the GE design, she designed this, I thought what a perfect time to show you the stripology ruler, and we'll cut our fabric with it. So if you want one, we do have it available this morning. Now it is $78.99, but that we do have it on a special. So normally that runs $85.99. We have it for $78.99 this morning.
And you're not going to pay any shipping?
You're not going to pay any shipping. You do not need this to make the table runner, but I'm going to show you how it works. So that one is sold $102.
And we'll come, well, I'll just ask it now.
Sure.
Deb is wondering, sorry she didn't hear how much fabric, or is it scraps? So
there are eight
eighth yard cuts.
Wasn't coming to me this morning. So you get eight yard cuts, plus you're getting your binding and your backing fabric. Now in the pattern, she does recommend
those bundles run $21.
$21.99.
Okay.
Oh, is it 21 or $21.99? I don't know. $21.
Okay. All right.
In the pattern, she does recommend a fusible batting, and I love fusible batting. So if you buy a half a yard of fusible batting, you will have enough to make you a table runner. It's $6.25. This is Quilter's Dream Fusible. This is what I use in all of our applique. If you see me doing applique, this is what I use in all of it. It's a single-sided fusible batting, really nice batting. So a half a yard of this is what you need to make the table runner, and I'll show you how that works in a minute. So it's $6.25 for a half a yard. If you want a yard of batting, if you're planning on making a couple or you're using it for something else, just type sold space 103 enter, sold space 103, enter as many times as you want, and then we'll put that in we'll cut it once in a big chunk. So we can do a yard, yard and a half, 2 yards, however you want. So that was $6.25 for a half yard, sold 103.
Patricia, the cost of the pattern is $8, and that would be sold space 100.
Yes. And then our last thing is, and as I show you how to put this together, we mark the batting so we know placement of our strips. I have found that these highlighter friction pens work wonderful to mark on batting, and I'm going to show you how it works. So we have a 3-pack. So they're 3 colors of a highlighter friction pen. You can use these on fabric too. A lot of times if you're using a darker fabric where a normal friction pen doesn't show up, these highlighter friction pens work really, really well. So they come in a 3-pack for $5.25, and those are sold 104, and I will show you how this works in just a minute. Okay, so that's what we have for you this morning. That's all the supplies that you would need to make this table runner. So the first thing you're going to do is cut your fabric. So when you get your fabric, it is cut into 1/8 of a yard strips, and you need to cut them into 1.5 inch strips. But if you, and like I said, you do not need this ruler, the Stripology ruler, but it sure does make it a lot easier to cut these strips, and I'm going to show you why. So on this Stripology ruler, all of your lines are slotted. So it's like an accordion. You can bend it. There's a slot in there. So what you do is you take, this is your width of fabric, so here's your fold. And I am just going to fold my fabric in half, lining up my side so it's 1 strip. And I'm going to do it so it's really in half. Then I'm going to lay that on my cutting mat, and I'm going to lay my Stripology ruler on top, lining up. If you, and it's hard for me to show this, but down at the bottom it starts with 0 and it goes all the way over to 20. Then there is stars and squares. So stars and squares. And she has a little grid system. So here is your 0, there's a star and a square. If you cut there, if you go to the next star and cut, that's a 1.5 inch strip. Star, star, star. So you don't have to think, you don't have to measure, you're just looking for the stars and cutting on that strip. If you want to do 2.5 inch strips, you start with the 0, and that's a square. You go to square, 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 and you're cutting 2.5 inch strips. So it really makes it a no-think method to cut your strips. Over here along the edge, there's a dotted line. So I'm going to line this dotted line up with the edge of my fabric, and then this black line so that the slot extends past my fabric, and I'll show you why. So I'm going to lay this on my fabric, lining up that dotted line with the edge of my fabric and the solid black line at the bottom. So I have a little bit of open at the top and the bottom. Then all I have to do is stick my rotary cutter in that slot, and then I come over to the star, and I come over to the next star, and to the next star. Then when I take my fabric out, this is my waist, and I have 3 1.5 inch strips. And that is what you're going to do to each of your fabrics. So I am just going to do that. So each of my fabrics, I just have them folded in half. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to lay that dotted line along the edge of my fabric and then the black line at the bottom. And I just go to the stars. See, I don't even have to measure. I don't even have to think. There's my waist. And I have 3 strips.
Good morning. Let's see. Roxy's wondering, is there a difference between fusible batting and fusible fleece?
If you have fusible fleece, you can easily use that. There's not a lot of difference. The fusible batting would act more like your batting that's in a quilt you would have quilted, but you can certainly use fusible fleece.
Would fleece be just a little bit thicker?
A little bit.
Good morning, Cindy. Pam says the Stripology ruler saves so much time.
We use it a lot, especially when we are cutting our own, like we make a quilt up ahead of time to show you guys. So a lot of times when we're cutting the strips, we will pull out the Stripology ruler and use it to cut our strips for our own quilts that we're doing.
Kathy's wondering, can you stack fabrics and cut more layers at a time?
Yes, you can. You can cut as many as you're comfortable cutting with the cutter. And let me do that. So let me take 2 pieces, or let me do it this way too. So I'm going to put 1 piece here, and we'll see what happens. I'm going to put 1 piece right beside it. Now they're both folded in half. Now I'm going to lay the ruler on the first one, lining up my dotted line and the black at the bottom. And let's see, so we'll see if we get, maybe I won't get quite as many strips. So let me move this one a little bit.
But you could stack them up also.
We could, but that would be too easy for me. Let me do this way, just once, and then we'll do the other ones. So I'm just doing on the stars, and then I'm going to continue on the stars. And there we go. I got 3 strips from each one. Now let's stack them on top of each other and try it. These are my last 2.
Sherry says, I think it works best with a brand new blade in the rotary cutter. That's true for almost anything.
That's right.
For the cost of replacement blades,
it's always good to have a new blade.
Yes.
All right, so now I have 2 stacked up. And I am just going to the stars. Let me do this one again. I don't know if, yep, I didn't know if I had quite cut through. And normally I would be standing up, which puts a little more pressure on the fabric. But look, I cut through all those layers. All right, so just like that, all of my strips are cut. And this is all of the waste that I have. And we'll throw that away. And we're done with our ruler. The next step in the pattern, she tells you the size to cut your backing and your batting. So there is my backing fabric, and I have fused that fusible batting Now this is batik, so there really is no right or wrong. Some of them you can kind of tell a difference, but it's not a huge difference. So normally you would fuse the batting to the wrong side of whatever is going to be your backing fabric. So I have already done that, and see how it sticks so well? I love this Quilter's Dream fusible batting. And we're going to mark our batting so we know where our placement is on our strips. So let me move this a second.
Jolene is wondering, when cutting more layers, would it be better to use a 60 millimeter cutter?
You could do that too, absolutely. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to grab a longer ruler. You don't have to have a longer ruler. And I'm going to see if I can find kind of the center. You don't have to, but this might make it a little easier. And let me do the other side.
Good morning, Carol. Jolene loves using her Stripology ruler.
It's very nice.
And Deb says accurate cuts, no slipping.
Yep, absolutely.
Good morning, Connie.
All right, so now I'm going to make one line down the center the long way. And I am using these highlighter friction pens, and see how well that shows up on this batting.
And we'll be able to see that once the ruler gets moved out of the way. Because Lori is wondering, is your fabric folded in half with the fabric?
Yes, it is.
Okay. And Pam says, I think if you want to use Stripology, it's best to use the larger ruler than the smaller one.
Whatever works great for you. So see how well that worked to use this highlighter friction pen on the batting? So I've marked my center the long way. Now I'm just going to make a mark on each side. Now the only thing that happens on these is it does pull up a little bit of the batting, but you can just pull that right off.
Good morning, Julie. Kathy said she's had to move up about an inch from the starting edge when using the larger cutter. So you may have to make a little bit of an adjustment.
Yes, you just want to make sure that you actually go clear from one end to the other to cut your fabric all the way.
And let's see, good morning, Julie. I think I said that. Peg says she just saw a robin.
Yay!
And hearing more and more reports of people seeing those. So
spring is not too far away. We can make it.
So yes, good morning one and all, and thank you for joining us for this Friday morning breakfast with Amy.
So see how I did the center line, and then I did a line the same width, and it does tell you the width in the pattern, same width on both sides. Now I'm going to do the same thing the other way. I'm going to find my center, make a little mark. And then I'm going to draw a line down the center. And then I'm going to do the same measurement. And it does tell you the measurement in the pattern.
Linda, we will talk about Fabulous here in just a little bit. I will let, when Amy gets some time, she can give you the update on everything there.
All right, and I'm just going to do the other side. So I'm just putting this little grid system on by using this highlighter friction pen. Okay, so we have it all gridded up with just the squares. Now we just have one more thing. This was our center. So what I'm going to do is, let me do it and I will show you. I'm just going to connect I could go all the way.
As Amy continues with that, I will remind everyone that we are in the middle of our Valentine's special sale on horn tables, like Amy is using this morning, horn sewing tables. Also Grace Company long arms and frames, and Amy will be sewing here shortly on a Foff Creative Icon 2. So sewing and embroidery machines, long arms, horn tables are all 14% off through tomorrow. So if there's something that you are interested in, now is the time to do it. We've had a couple of people take advantage of that this week already, and they had some excellent savings. So please, if you're interested, you can give me a call on my cell phone if you want, 712-269-6979. Otherwise, you can call us here at the store. Also, 712-393-7979. Or I guess we just, if you have any questions at all, please let us know. We would love to visit with you about all of that.
Okay, this is my last line, and I'll show you what I did. And we are working on getting an overhead camera so that it won't be long. All right, I'm gonna put my lid so my marker doesn't dry out. So then what I did was we started with the squares, and then I started in the center, and now we just do the diagonal. This is all printed out in the pattern so you can see exactly where you're marking, so you get this kind of a grid system. We're going to start in this center diamond right here. So I'm going to start with, and what's nice is it's so scrappy, you're just choosing your strips that you're using. So no two are going to look exactly alike. So I'm deciding whatever I want to do as my first one, and I'm going to make it about a quarter, so your table runner is going to end up being like that. So this last outside line that's here, you're going to extend about a quarter of an inch past that line to sew. So I am just going to take my scissors and cut about a quarter of an inch. And what I do is I bend my strip back onto itself so I get a straight cut. And then I just set this aside. Now, this very first one is the only time you have to do this. I'm going to take a second strip. I'm going to make it the same length. Bend it back on itself where I cut. So I cut a nice straight line. So if you were using regular fabric and not batik fabric, you would make sure that these are right sides together. And I'm going to take both of them and I'm just going to pull them over about a quarter of an inch past that center line. And you can tell because I've extended the line up on both sides. So I'm just about a quarter inch over, and I'm just going to sew a quarter inch down those strips.
Marilyn is wondering, what is the finished size?
10.5 by 31. Now, make sure, since this is a quilt as you go, Whatever color your backing fabric is the color you want your thread. Because you don't, unless you want it to show, you want it to just not show up on your back. You can also, as you're going, if you want to pull up your bobbin thread, it does take a lot more work, a little more time, but you could do that so you have a little bit nicer back. I just clip the threads off when I'm done. So I'm just going to sew a regular 1/4 inch seam.
And again, Amy is sewing on a Creative Icon 2. It is a sewing and embroidery machine, so you can put the embroidery arm and use it as a beautiful embroidery projects also.
And then I am just going to fold this top one over. Now this is another reason I love working with this batting and batik. See how well that stuck? When I fold it over, I'm just going to finger press, and that sticks so nice to the back. So now I just choose what I want for my next color. But now we're following this line that goes down. So I just want to be about a 1/4 inch past that line. So my strips are going to get smaller as I go. And when I come down here, I want to be about a 1/4 inch. So I just make a little slit at a 1/4 inch, fold the fabric back on itself, and cut that off. Now, if you're working with really light colored fabrics, like this light one I just did, I can kind of see that pink behind, but this is a friction pen. If I hit that when I'm all done, if I hit that with an iron, that mark's going to disappear, so you don't have to worry about it. And I'm going to just sew that.
And you probably heard me say it before, but what's nice with the horn tables, you can lower your machine, have the insert that fits your machine. You can just slide your sewing projects back and forth where it's easier to keep things in place. So, and horn has several different sizes and different applications for whatever works for you. So it's a great product also. Hi, Stacy.
And then I'm just going to continue on, going about a 1/4 inch past that line. Now this one I'm just going to fold this way. It doesn't matter. I'm just folding it onto itself so I get a nice straight cut. If I was to just hold it up and cut it, mine always goes wonky. So my 1/4 inch.
Cheryl, the table with the embroidery arm is you raise your machine up so it does not have to be lowered down into there, and there is a so that it would be level then, and your embroidery arm just clips in place. Cindy says she loves her horn table.
They're nice.
And Stacy says the same thing. And I appreciate your comments. We appreciate all your testimonials because that's word of mouth is our best advertising. So thank you for that. And I should say, with being advertising, if you can call it that, I think we kind of are, but there may be another installment of our Olympic sport today, so stay tuned.
Oh, another installment. We're just celebrating the Olympics. All right, see how I'm going? I think I can do one more to make it to the tip. But isn't that pretty? I love that. And you can just, you're choosing your fabric however you want to put it on. It's a quilt as you go. I'm just cutting about 1/4 of an inch past that line. I fold it over and so I can get a nice straight cut. Then I lay it back on so I'm 1/4 inch over each line. And so, really, it goes very fast. It's just a repeat, but I'll show you how to do the next step.
Martha, there is several different sizes of the horn tables, so I encourage anyone, if you are interested, you can go on to hornofamerica.com and you can see all the different tables, or you can give me a call and I can walk you through it also. And they have different applications if you're doing embroidery, going to be doing embroidery with it or something like that. So it's a very simple process.
Okay, I didn't quite make it to the tip, so I am just adding one more piece. I may see it, I may not at the end result, but you just want to make sure it's all covered.
Did we have the same amount of fabric bundles of both of them?
We did.
I find it's interesting. They are going neck and neck.
Are they going neck and neck,
Yes.
the bright and the neutrals?
Yes.
All right, so now we've worked our way this way. Normally what I would do is turn it around and then work my way this way to get, well, I guess we do have time. Let me go. And then I'll show you. So I'm just going to repeat the process and I'm going to go this way so we have that center diamond done. And let's see, let's do this one. So see how this is kind of fun? You just choose what you want to do. Well, I didn't know. Would people like the brights? Would people like the neutrals? Neck and neck.
Let's see. Yes, the solid brights would be great too.
Would be.
Are the ones that we have do have designs in them, but
yep, a little bit of designs in them. And like I said, this is a great project you can get done in a weekend. And I love how when that presses down, it just sticks to that batting. I love that. Now you have 8 different fabrics in the fabric bundle so that you just move them around and really don't pay that close of attention on where you are. I just don't put 2 together of the same fabric. All right, so you would continue on. I'd probably do a couple more strips here to get that center diamond done. Then what you're going to do is we want to then do this. So you've got a diamond going this way. So here is the center diamond that we just did, but then you have this coming out in all 4. So we're going to do that next. So see how I extended my lines? So when I'm drawing my lines, I'm extending them beyond this outside edge. And I do that so that I can, let me take one I haven't done yet. And I'm gonna go kitty corner across, and I have those lines there, so I have a perfect placement of where I want that next one to go. And so then I'm just gonna cut down here past, fold my fabric up so I get a nice straight cut. And I'm gonna sew that on with a 1/4 inch.
Just kind of a schedule for next week. Monday we return with Happy Hour with the Healy's at 5 p.m. If you're new to us, that we talk about a lot of nothing. It might be National Chocolate Chip Cookie Day, or whatever, and we visit for about a half hour. And I'm going to let Amy continue.
All right, so now you see we have these little bit of, if you want to trim these off, you can, but I didn't, and it doesn't add any bulk. So I'm just gonna pull this across, finger press it, and I'm gonna work my same way down this other side. So there's no need to trim anything. It covers it and lays really nice. So now I'm just gonna go my way this way, and Randy can keep talking.
Sherry's got a little humor this morning. She goes, her hubs just got up and all he heard was continue on with your stripping.
Well, what a day to wake up. Tell him, well, happy Valentine's Day to you too.
Lori is another question that we'll repeat here. Is fusible batting the same as fusible fleece? And the answer is no. They are very similar. You
can interchange them, but I like fusible fleece for bags, and I like fusible batting for table runners and applique. So personal preference.
Kathy says that first diagonal overlaps the drawn line by a 1/4 inch too.
Yes. No. The only time it does overlap by a 1/4 inch. Okay. So when I'm going this way or this way, that line's drawn. Yeah, you go about a 1/4 inch beyond that line. The only time we put 2 right sides together and then moved it over a 1/4 inch was that very first one. The rest, you're just lining them up with the edge, but yes, I'm extending about a 1/4 inch beyond my lines.
No problems, Lori. A lot of times if people ask a question, it's probably there's several other people that just haven't asked it yet.
That's right. There's no bad question. It's just you're the one that is brave enough to ask.
And if you understand it, it makes the project go a lot easier.
Yes, it does. And all of these directions are in the pattern, very well written out. This is just another reference tool to go to when you're doing it. So yes, I am extending about a 1/4 inch out, but I'm getting smaller as I go to my corner.
Kathy says, so that first blue diagonal is along the drawn line.
Yes, it is just on the drawn line. And now I just need one more here. And I'll do the other corner so we can go over it again.
And if you have joined us late, to cut all our strips, Amy used the Creative Grids Stripology
Ruler.
XL slotted ruler. So that is something that we also have on this morning. Makes it very easy to cut your strips for the whole project in not very long time.
Yeah. All right, so see, I already have my one corner done. So I'm just going to come over here and we'll do the next corner, and let me go over that again as to how I did it. So see, you have to just choosing which fabric you want. So I'm going to lay it right on the line. The only time that we went over it 1/4 inch was the very first ones we did. That's the only time you do it. The rest of the time you are just laying it right on the line, and that's why I've extended my lines up so I can see that when I go to do it. So just extended it. I'm just going to cut down here about 1/4 inch. And then I'm going to just come back and lay it right on the line. And sew my 1/4 inch.
Stacy says her husband hopes that the cinnamon bread mix that she ordered comes this weekend. She says, I can't keep it in stock. I think somebody might have a favorite.
All right. And then just finger press it and work your way up this way. All right, does everybody understand that? Any questions?
And then as you go on to the next one, you'll just...
Yep, so then when these are done, then see how my line's extended? So then I just work my way this way. Well, yeah. So I would finish this one, then I put this one on, sew it, and work my way in that center one. So you're just center diamond or center triangle, then corner triangles, then center triangle, and then quarter triangles. So you just work your way, and you can work your way both ways at the same time, or you can go down one side and come back and do the other side. Totally up to you. Everybody understand that? Anybody have any questions?
We haven't had any questions for a while here.
Good, good. And that is how we're doing. So you would just do your corners and then put your long one on and do the center, and then your corners. Put your long one on, do your center, and then your corners. And then you do the same thing over on the other side. It's just very repetitious. And I think this one with the neutrals is going to be beautiful when it's done. I will definitely post a picture of how pretty it looks. And when you're using gray as your thread on the back, whatever you want your thread to match your back. And I forgot to do it on this one because, you know, as I sew, so there's white. But you know what? I'm just going to leave it and I'm not going to worry about it because all people will see is this side. But if you use thread to match, it's going to look beautiful, and you won't even notice that on the back. So that is how you do your, and then when you get that all done, you trim it to this edge line. So you're going to have a little bit, about 2 or 3 inches on both sides you're going to cut off. Once you trim it, see, you're trimming off all of those rough edges, and you bind it and you're done.
Julie, yes, the backing does come with the kit, and Amy will explain that here in just a little bit.
Well, let's go over that now. So here's the pattern. It's called Skinny Minnie from GE Designs, and it's $8. Sold 100. Then we're offering 2 fabric bundles. The one is the Brights, which was this one. So what you are getting is 8 1/8 yard cuts. You're going to get binding, and you're going to get your backing fabric. So you'll have all of your fabric you need to finish your table runner. So this is $21 for all of that fabric. sold 101 brights.
And it comes with binding and backing.
Binding and backing. And then the one here that I was sewing is all in neutrals. So you're going to get 1/8 of a yard of 8 different neutrals, all in batiks. Both of these are batiks. You're going to get one of these fabrics in your binding, and then you're going to get your backing fabric. So this is $21, sold 101 neutrals. What I use to cut the strips, and GE Designs, she is the one that designed this. It's the Stripology. This one's the extra large slotted ruler. So you can cut your 1.5 or 2.5 inch strips.
Can you just show them? I'm zooming in there if you want to. You can.
So all of these have slotted. So you line up your fabric with that dotted line and one of these lines on here. And then if you cut on every star, you're going to cut 1.5 inch strips. If you cut on every square, you're going to get 2.5 inch strips. Or they're numbered. So if you need 3 inch strips, you'd cut on 3, 6, 9. However you want to do it, and they're slotted so your ruler or your cutter fits right in there. Super easy to make straight, accurate cuts. So that is $78.99. They're normally $85.99, so we're giving you a little bit of a deal this morning if you need a Stripology ruler.
And you won't be paying any extra shipping.
Nope, that's $5 shipping unless you buy $25 or more. So the Stripology ruler was sold 102. The Quilter's Dream fusible batting, it takes 1/2 yard, will make your table runner. So 1/2 yard of batting is $6.25. If you want more, just do sold space 103 enter, sold space 103 enter, and we'll cut you a 1 yard cut.
And the batting does not come with the fabric bundle.
Right, you would need to purchase your batting separately. And she does recommend in her pattern a fusible batting, which works so well for the back. If you don't want fusible batting and you want to use batting you have, then just do a spray based to spray baste your backing onto your batting. And then our last item is those friction pens. See how well those highlighter friction pens work on this batting? Even the blue works. Let's see what the yellow looks like. You can even see the yellow. So you get 3 different highlighter. These come in a package. So you get 3 for $5.25. Sold 104.
And I promised that we would talk about Fabulous.
So we're doing a sew along every Wednesday morning at 8 o'clock. It's Fabulous. That's the name of the pattern. And you can find that in our comment sold store. You can buy it with just the pattern. We are doing our Fabulous pattern in grunge. So we have different, you can get the complete kit, just grunges, just the black and white. And we're going to actually start that this coming Wednesday. We're going to start sewing our first block because the fabric, if you're still waiting for your fabric, it is on its way and we are going to get that shipped out. So even if you don't actually have it on Wednesday, you can watch and then do it as soon as you receive your fabric. So we'll be working on our first block this coming Wednesday morning.
Susan, it says, is there a friction marker that shows on black fabric?
The highlighters would be your best bet on black fabric. Otherwise, you would need to go with some type of a white, like a chalk marker.
How wide is the fusible batting?
60 inches.
Julie says, is the black and white in the Fabulous grunge also?
It can be.
If
you order it in your comments, please specify grunge. Otherwise, it's just going to be a white on white and a black solid.
And Kathy says that green shows on black.
Green shows on black. Thank you. Good job.
So
It's great that we are in this little sewing community where we can give hints and suggestions for everyone. Isn't that wonderful?
So quickly, our schedule for next week.
Mondays and Thursdays at 5 o'clock in the afternoon. These are all Central Time. Happy hour with the Healy's. Every Tuesday night at 7 o'clock for Treat Yourself Tuesday, fun-filled virtual shopping show. Wednesday mornings at 8 o'clock is our sew-along, and Friday mornings at 8 o'clock, Breakfast with Amy.
And Thursday afternoons?
Is Happy Hour with the Healy's.
Okay, you might have said Monday and Thursday.
I did, but
Okay.
you don't listen to me all the time.
Well, I'm doing a couple other things, so I apologize. And thank you one and all for joining us this morning. Hopefully you have a great weekend and you have a lot of time to do your sewing projects.
Yes, have a wonderful weekend. Happy sewing.
And stay tuned a little later on this morning for the next adventure in the Wise Monkey Quilting Olympics.
Olympic team.
Take care, everybody.
Bye.